Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the latest in streaming and video on-demand movies, horror movies, at that! Each week, my co-host and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings, and tonight we are reviewing Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, episodes 4 and 5, together, as we reach the halfway mark for the season. All right, before we get going, let me introduce the rest of the crew, starting off with my co-host, Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Great. I'm doing great. Watching fun stuff. That's all I do. I watch fun stuff.
Getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah, my wife's getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah, you're just watching fun stuff.
I just sit back and
All right, also joining us this week is lead news writer, Gruesome Magazine, the one and only Dave Dreher. Dave, how you doing, sir?
Hey guys, I'm good. Also doing fun stuff, watching fun stuff, doing fun stuff.
Fun stuff. I like
watching fun stuff.
I like the Creep Show book you got sitting down there. That was cool.
Oh yeah, here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool book. Highly recommended.
There you go. And we are very happy to have Chad Hunt joining us tonight, comic book artist, writer, director of short films, and a really cool and nice guy. How you doing, sir? And Iron Maiden, excuse me, lover.
Yeah. I'm as awesome can be, I must say.
Awesome sauce, as they say. All right, well, we are here to review Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Please, if you haven't seen them, or watched them, or listened to them, check them out. We have episodes 1, 2, and 3 in the back catalog. They are a fun blast to go through what our thoughts were on this series, as Godzilla is having a wonderful year and will likely go into next year attempting to be wonderful. We'll see. The trailer for the movie that Godzilla and Kong, was it Godzilla X Kong?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
What's it?
The New Empire or something?
Godzilla times Kong.
Yes.
exponential.
Came out about a week or so ago. So, yeah, we are. If you are a Kaiju fan in the States, you are just happy as a clam. A giant clam at that. All right, let's look at. Somebody stop me, because this is just
what's going on? What's going on with him, man?
It's just embarrassing. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to give you our first thoughts. Our initial thoughts will be spoiler free, and then we'll get into a discussion about the episodes, and we will get into the nicks and crannies and caves and ice and all that fun stuff, and a couple whiskey bars, right, Jeff? He reminded me about one episode. And then we'll wrap things up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene or scenes. And we hope you enjoy not only this, but many other reviews that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like and subscribe buttons or share with a friend, because each click will help us find more horror fans just like you. And those who have been doing so, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look at the card and get things underway. Boink. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters is started streaming on AppleTV beginning November 17th. We are in episodes 4 and 5. Episodes 4 is Parallels and Interiors. The team is left stranded in the frozen tundra after a narrow escape, and Kentaro reflects on his relationships. Episode 5 is The Way Out. Cate's painful memories of G-Day come flooding back as she treks through the ruins of San Francisco with Kentaro and May. The episodes are directed by Julian Holmes and Marzi Almas. It's written by Chris Black, Matt Fraction, Andrew Colville, Mariko Tamaki, Mila Bell Hart, and Marzi Almas. The cast includes Hannah Sawai, Kersey Clemens, Ren Watabe, Mari Yamamoto, Anders Holm, Joe Tippett, Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell, Takahiro Hira, Kyoko Kudo, and Christopher Heyerdahl.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Apologies to all our Japanese friends.
I feel like I might have done better than usual on those. I don't know. All right. Chad, sir, what was your first impressions of 4 and 5? Together or individually, as you like?
4 I enjoyed quite a bit. You know, it had a little bit more of the monster that was chasing them. I can't remember what was the name of the monster.
A
Did
Vark,
they
some
say?
kind of Vark.
Frostmark.
Frostmark.
Frostvark. Okay, then.
God bless you.
But anyway, Gesundheit. It sort of took up right where episode 3 left off, and it was sort of an action-packed slash more into the human drama side of things, which I think as we're coming to find out, it was kind of what we thought. This is pretty much more about the characters and how Monarch operates and that kind of thing. And we get a glimpse here and there of some kaiju action from episode to episode, which is fine with me because the characters here are really, really good. They get well, I don't know if we're not in spoilers, are we?
Not yet, sir.
We're not doing spoilers. Okay. But yeah, a lot of action, kaiju action. The monster, we get to find out, you know, how it works and what his powers are or whatever. And that was pretty cool. And episode 5, I really enjoyed quite a bit. There was even less kaiju action in that one, but it got even more into what makes Monarch tick, and some of the relationships with the kids and their father, which I really dug a lot. This is getting a lot of hate online for some reason because I think a lot of people expected kaiju action, you know, all the time, but it's not. But it's even if the kaiju weren't there, it's still a pretty good human drama show. I mean, I think they're covering a lot of stuff now that they wouldn't be able to cover quite as fast in the movies, you know, as far as what Monarch is and what they do and what happened and that kind of thing. But yeah, I enjoyed both episodes. Really, really were good to me. I loved them.
Excellent. Dave Dreher, sir. What was
That's
your
me.
first impression of episodes 4 and 5 of Monarch Legacy?
Pretty much in Chad's camp. You know, this is well, I mean, I guess the show is called Monarch, so you know, it's becoming more and more about Monarch and their unscrupulous doings. You know, things they're doing behind the scenes, black ops, whatever you want to call it. But I'm still really enjoying it. The characters are very strong. Yeah, really, I can't. It's without going into spoilers. Can't say much more than what Chad said. You know, episode 4 kind of picked right up. We're still in Alaska, and that nasty ass monster is still chasing them around. You know, we definitely delve into some real deep character development with Kentaro and his hallucinations. You know, as he's wandering the frosted landscape. You know, but in 5, you know, there are really some major revelations, which, since we're not in spoilers, we won't go yet. But we find out a lot about May. We find out a lot about Kurt Russell's character, potentially.
It's hard to tell. There's a little mystery going on there. We'll get to that.
A little bit of mystery going on there. You know, some stuff about the mother, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff. When we get into spoilers, we'll be able to say much more. But I found a lot of that really, really fascinating, particularly when they just lightly touched base on Kurt Russell's character's age. I think that's going to end up being some type of a major plot point. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, there's a mystery there
There's
to
a
unravel.
mystery. Yes, there is. But I enjoyed that. But other than the flashbacks of G-Day, I don't think we had any kaiju action at all. It was all just the stuff we've seen of her on the bridge and Godzilla, you know, freaking out. Yeah, but I did like the excursion into the dead zone, or whatever they're calling it, the red zone or whatever. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I liked it. It was fun.
All right, Jeff Mohr, sir. Your first impressions of episode 4 and 5?
Yeah, I liked them too. And again, just to echo what Dave and Chad said, there's not very much kaiju action, but lots of character development, lots of backstories developed. We get a little more little bit more of a picture into Monarch, and I too loved I loved Kentaro's journey, as Dave put it, as he treks the frozen landscape or the Arctic landscape. Uh, but I also really like their creeping their creeper journey into the red zone, and just that whole idea that they have of how the military's taking it over and they're giving out, apparently they give out licenses to companies that can go in and collect people's memorabilia and then I don't know, sell it back to them. I don't. Maybe it's a government funded thing. It wasn't quite clear, but I thought it was interesting. So yeah, and there's a great little development at the end that I think is going to go badly, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. We don't know. We don't know about the one character. We don't know, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So for me, I will admit I enjoyed episode 4 a little more than I enjoyed episode 5. That doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy both episodes or the series, but yeah, 5 kind of, with the absence of a kaiju presence as much as it did, it felt less, and also Kurt Russell's role in 5 is smaller than it was in 4, to be sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And episode 4 had what did we say? Was it the Frost Barn or something like that?
Frostvark?
Frostvark. Yes.
Frostvark. I guess a Hardvark, Frostvark. And so there was a lot of kaiju stuff going on in that episode. But really, so I would say Kurt Russell is really making the show incredibly interesting and both amusing and entertaining at the same time. And his character is snarky, and there's a really great shot of him turning around and having the younger version of him, which is Wyatt Russell, his son, placed over top of him. That was really, really cool. And he was like, they really did a great job with that. And we'll get into more of what's going on there with that. But so there are elements in it that I really liked. One of which, and this is in episode 5, which kept it higher than it could be, because I think, Chad, I kind of start seeing what maybe some of the negative is coming in, with, the lack of kaiju, because 5 is by far the least amount of kaiju in the 5 episodes we've seen so far. Mm-hmm. And it, however, I really enjoyed when they approached San Francisco, right? Mm-hmm. And you see the ramifications of G-Day. And we really haven't seen that in any of the monster movies, kaiju films. They go away, and the next time you come, everything's rebuilt, and and it gets ready to be destroyed again. But here we see that the city's in disrepair, and all things have kind of gone poorly, and there's looters and army, and there's all kinds of things going on.
Radioactivity.
So I found that very interesting, and there's so much character stuff going on in 5. Even though I have my reservation, I don't see how episode 5 could be written any other way, because they're giving you so much with that episode with the characters. So really enjoyed the action elements of episode 4, and really liked getting into the characters. Wanted more of Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't seen Wyatt Russell and the other characters in these past 2 episodes.
Oh, they totally left the 50s out of the last 2 episodes, which was weird. They were about even Steven the first 3. So
I mean, other than the playing the film on the
thing, right.
The
picture of her
and I will say I missed that. I didn't think I would, because that's such a strange way to tell stories with such diverse times. But not that anybody else has never done that. And so this is a lot more concise, and basically bouncing between 2014 and 2015. But
I think it would have broken the tone up a little bit of what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
in the story, if they had went back and forth like they usually do. I don't think they're going to stop doing that, but I think in the process of the story they were trying to tell, it would have maybe lessened that story a little bit.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're in store for an episode that's primarily on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I think they did kind of do the same thing, only they did it by going. They were switching between 2015 and 2014 for May, right? Going back to, and did you happen to know that
and for
one of the big time reference frames that came up was G-Day -1?
Yeah.
I thought, well, that's awful coincidental, but I mean, it makes sense, and that's the way they've been doing it. So anyway,
well, I think in reading about the -1 and what it means and everything, it's sort of the state of emergency. You got -1, -0, so it's sort of like a what they used to call it, SatCon 1. What did they used to call it?
Okay.
DEFCON. So it's sort of the Japanese version of that, I think. How many days away?
And in this case, they're saying like 1 day before.
Yeah. Here they're literally doing it. Yeah.
And then they also do the same thing with Kentaro and May's relationship. It's now, and then it's back when they met, and they keep switching back and forth, and they keep having sort of flashbacks when he's laying out on the ice, snow. I thought too what you said about the characters. I mean, we find out tons of stuff. We find out much more about Tim's place in Monarch.
Yes.
And she calls him her partner, Duval. I don't know.
I think she doesn't want to be his partner for very, very much longer. She wants to be.
And then
rise in the ranks, doesn't she?
So we learn more about them. We learn a little bit more about May, but there's still a big mystery surrounding her. Where's she come from? Why is she hiding? That kind of stuff. And then the little it's not really a little. It's kind of funny because we talked about it before about the age of Kurt Russell's character, and that they were just sort of.
We joked about it, thinking maybe it was a one-off.
Yeah,
are we just supposed to be ignoring it, or are we? And I do remember us talking about, there might be something in here that tells us why he's like 20, 30 years younger than he should be. So anyway, I know there was another one. I think. Oh well, no 50s. I thought the light was cooler than hell when the Frostvark comes out, and then as they're flying away, they see that.
Yeah,
it's almost like a beacon shining up into the sky with this light. And we also learned more about those. A couple episodes ago, we saw how the military gave the people back in the 50s carte blanche to set up all these posts all over the world. So we got the one in I forget where it was now, but it
was it Nebraska or?
Well, I thought it was U.S. Southwest. She's like out in the desert or something. It looks like to me, but. And she's reading. She gets readings. We haven't had readings like this since G-Day, and so people get all freaked out and everything. So all that stuff.
That's right. We get a new character, right?
Yeah,
we get a new character that comes in. I forgot about that.
Outpost 47. I wrote it down somewhere, but I'll probably.
And we find out a little bit about how the
I loved all that. Just barned. Oh, in Utah, 2015. Well,
I think Jeff is frozen in the tundra.
Frozen.
Oh, no.
Chad,
frozen.
you were good to say.
While he's frozen, let me go on with what I was saying.
He's back.
Oh, too bad. I'm still gonna go. He's trying to figure it out. Look at his face.
And he's got again. Oh my.
But we found out how the Frostvark or whatever it was. I had a lot of questions when I first saw him. How does he know where they are? If they're running away, and why did he attack the plane first? He's drawn to heat, and he sucks all the heat out of everything. Energy. Yeah. So he was drawn to the plane, and then he's chasing them, I guess, by their heat signatures as they're running away. That's how he's able to find them every time. And that, I think they figured that out when they had a campfire going, and it sort of just died, and all the
Yeah,
heat
it sucked up the
out of it.
fire. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool too. That's probably what all those little things are, the little heat sensors or something. That
You look just like look just like the Frostfuck there, Chad. Do that again. That was
can we
amazing.
do it again?
Yeah, well, you transformed into it. Oh my god!
And of course, our
I
heroes,
want to suck your heat.
our heroes get rescued, and then when they open up the chopper door, there's Tim and Duvall waiting on them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, I was a little concerned halfway through the first half of episode 5 because we get our young heroes, but we didn't see Kurt Russell at all until
Right.
like about halfway through, and I mean we see like he's hidden in the shadows, and I was like, oh well, he's not even going to be in this episode. But halfway through, he does step out of the shadows, and we do have conversations with him.
Yeah.
And those were fascinating as well. So I'm very happy they did that because I would have been.
Yeah. And he said some very interesting stuff too. Like, I made sure he doesn't know anything,
Right.
Kentaro, and so there's a lot going on that he's not revealing, and there's still a lot going on we don't know about.
But I think he's definitely hiding stuff that Monarch doesn't want out there. I mean, they want to keep him silent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they want to keep him in the old folks' home, wherever that is. So, but I do like our characters, and I do like the way they set them up as bait. They were like, okay, let's let them go, and we'll find out where they go because they'll lead us to whatever's going on.
Right,
right?
knowing damn well they wouldn't just get on the plane and go home, right?
Yeah, so I did like that quite a bit, and I thought that was an interesting move on their part. And of course, Duvall has a conversation with May and leaves her the card. She kind of plays because she goes, she has like a couple of her passports. So like, who's this? Who are you actually, right?
Yeah.
So spreading a little bit of mystery and then planting that seed, which bears fruit at the end of the episode when she calls, which I think, Jeff, you were kind of alluding to in your opening thoughts. Where do you think that's going to go now that May has called Duvall saying, I want to go home?
Well, I think it'll be a mistake.
Yeah,
Monarch only uses people, and
she's going to be a turncoat, definitely.
so May's going to have to double cross Monarch somehow, I think. What I thought was interesting too is and you guys might have talked about this when my internet decided to go blowy. But anyway, when Verdugo is in Shaw's cell,
we didn't say much about it, so go ahead.
I totally love that because she comes in there playing like she's going to do like good cop, bad cop almost. She's like, she's being nice to him, and he's digging her a couple times, and she's being nice. And then at some point, it's like, well, I can bury you deeper, I can bury you shallow. And then he looks right into the microphone and says, Monarch has been wrong, and they've been wrong for a long, long time. And all the people watching in the control room are like going,
yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm just here for the benefits.
I'm just here for the benefits. I was like,
well, that Tim straightens about too. They have that meeting, and he keeps trying to interrupt, and then he says, hey, look, we're supposed to be studying these people, find out as much as we can, and what are we doing? We're running around trying to cover stuff up and hide it. So.
Yeah. Aren't we supposed to be studying monsters? I do wonder what side Tim is actually going to end up on. I know that he was portrayed as trying to capture them and be a little undercover agent at first, but I kind of feel he's at odds with Monarch. Well, I don't feel it's obvious he's at odds with Monarch as well. So I feel like he's going to end up. Dave used either Chad or Dave used the term turncoat. I think he's going to turn as well, and help.
I think he's going to help Shaw at some point. Yeah,
he tried to keep Monarch from finding out about the kids and get the files before Monarch found out about it. So I think he's sort of, and he's very knowledgeable about Shaw and very knowledgeable about the history of Monarch and everything. So I think he really believes in what Monarch was trying to do, but his hands are sort of tied by the authority there now, and
the original mission.
Right. So I think that's where he stands, and he might end up. I think he'll end up helping Shaw and everybody.
I think he might be. That might be Shaw's way out. Is Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Tim. So, but I feel like the Tim character is kind of a parallel to John Goodman's character, which is our the one that we're watching in the past, but from Skull Island. So, just feels tonally, not as the character himself, but just tonally he has that same kind of anti-establishment kind of approach to this, which is needed. And then I'm not sold Duvall's going to be a bad guy. I don't think she's. I think she's second guessing.
She's vying for her own position.
Obviously.
I mean, I don't know if she'll be a bad guy or not, but I think she's got her own agenda as well. And otherwise, that come with me, Tim. She sort of saved his hash when she asked for Tim's assistance on it. So.
Yeah, she did. She didn't throw him completely under the bus. She did pull him out and take her with him, because they were getting ready to can his ass, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it. I liked her look. She's right now a tough one to figure out, because she had that sort of quizzical look in the control room when she asked that question about how's this guy. He ought to be 90, and
right.
How's he come off at this age? And Tim fills her in, and then also when Shaw says Monarch was wrong, and they have been for a long, long time, she gets this kind of quizzical look on her face, like there's a lot going on here I don't know about, like.
And I think she's going to want to figure it out. She seems to be a forward-thinking character in that.
Yeah. At one point, she seemed like the assassin type that you give her an order and she goes and does it, doesn't question it. But that's changing, feels like.
Yeah. What do we think of May's, the history we get with the flashbacks with May and her love affair and cheating on her girlfriend?
Cate, you mean?
Cate, yes. Sorry, Cate.
She's apparently, I guess, due to her past trauma and everything, she's sort of hesitant to commit to living with her girlfriend, and something's happened in their past too, that she's maybe cheated on her before, or something happened in the past where her girlfriend says, or she asked her girlfriend, "Haven't you learned your lesson?" So there's something going on there, because the girlfriend asked her, give her a key to their place and asked her to come stay with her and live with her, and so she kind of reluctantly agrees, and then the next day goes out and sleeps with somebody else.
But I didn't get the impression it was a one-time thing, though. I feel like that
maybe not.
Well, yeah, it wasn't somebody she knew very well, because it was kind of like, "Are you moving?"
Yeah. So it added another layer to her character that might explain a few things of her relationship with her father, and the relationship with Kentaro and his mom and everything.
It does explain explains her motivation of getting on that bus as well.
Yeah.
Because everybody's being evacuated because it's approaching G-Day, and of course that doesn't go as well, she hopes.
Well, she has major, and I like that they're doing this. She has major PTSD.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as soon as she gets in those ruins, she starts having major flashbacks about G-Day and the kids dying. And
if you could imagine how she feels watching those kids go over the edge of that bridge, and or what that would do to a person, is just beyond.
But she did save. I mean, she did save as many as she could.
She did.
Right. But that's not what she's looking at. And the relationship with her father, that's kind of, it's there and it's not there, right? And so that may be why she has a hard time with relationships too.
Speaking of relationships, though, I do like the growing relationship she has with Now is it May? Now do I have the right May?
Yeah.
I'm getting
Kintaro's girlfriend is
I'm
May.
getting all the character names mixed up, but her and May are kind of getting tight. Not romantically, but
Yeah.
just a relationship that's interesting.
Helping each other out, both of them.
She saved her big time when she was scared to leave the ruins that they were in. They were being chased by the police. May was able to get her up and moving again, where she was like frozen and couldn't do anything. So
of course, Cate saved her when she was
frozen.
got into frostbite.
We talked about that a little bit
Hypothermia.
before the show, but having your feet soaked with ice cold water and being in that temperature of air, that hurts a lot. And I think that was really well done. And the rest of the people she was with didn't seem to get how much that hurt.
Yeah.
Because hypothermia sets in quick like that. So, what is it like when you're in the ice cold water? I forget how you can survive. I think it's just minutes, right?
It's not long. Yeah, it's not even 5 minutes or something.
So, but I like it. I like how they handled it in Shaw, and I like how Shaw, Kurt Russell's character really likes these three. And the way he's kind of defending them and realizing like they're the key to the future. And as a matter of fact, that's what he says, right? Monarch, they are the future of Monarch. Monarch is their legacy, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm still waiting to see if there's some unknown relationship between Shaw and the I guess it'd be Bill Randa's wife or their grandmother. Because in that one little film clip they showed, we had another one of those. Bill Randa's setting up the movie camera, and he's on young Shaw's on the picture with Randa's wife, and they give one of those looks that seems to be more there than
right. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, they do kind of do the soap opera thing, like there's something going on, which would be really interesting if the kids weren't actually Randas, but maybe.
Well, he looked at Kentaro quite a bit when he first met him.
Didn't he?
Yeah, you're Bill Randa's boy. But he had a look on his face like he knew who he was.
Or you're Hiroshi's
boy.
Yeah.
Well, I keep hoping we're going to see more of Hiroshi, but I like how they sort of figured out where they thought he was going next, so we know where someplace they're going in the next episode or so.
Yeah, was it Africa? I think it was Africa.
It was Africa.
Yeah. Oh, it is, isn't it?
They did a little national treasure shit there.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the same thing. They did a little national treasure thing with the map on the wall and the lights. That was pretty slick. So I guess we'll get more of that. Depending on what happens with Duvall's character, what happens when she steps in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't know.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's a lot going on, and you can go ahead and finish up. But after you finish up, let's get into our scores 1 to 5 and our favorite scenes.
I was going to say, I feel like even though we haven't seen much kaiju action in the last 2 episodes, you sort of feel like they're there. I did anyway, especially when they ruined San Francisco, and it just makes you think of it. But even though they weren't there physically, you can still kind of the spirit of them. I guess the spirit of it is still there.
The legacy.
The Trans-American building.
It's like getting there was tough.
And the effect. Let me just say, the visual effects in this show are outstanding.
They are,
especially the ruined San Francisco and all that just looks so good. The backgrounds, and the monsters look great. It's not I think we've brought this out before. It's not a cheap show. It's very well done. Production value is very, very well done.
Extraordinarily well written.
Yes.
I mean, kaiju stuff aside, this is great TV.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Yeah, they could be after Nick Cage looking for the one thing he was looking for in that whole movie.
You really care about the character, right?
Yeah. And that's that's a good thing. As we've learned this year, that character means a lot. Chad, sir, what is your score for these episodes? You can do them individually or together. And favorite scene?
I'm going to do them together because I have the same score for both. I'm going to give them a 4.5 because I'm still digging it, even though the monsters aren't really present in all of these episodes. But and I just still am enjoying it immensely, just for the writing and the story alone. My favorite episode, or my favorite scene, is the campfire when the fire just gets sucked down and the monster just erupts and just destroys the camp. That was great. Loved it.
Perfect. Dave, what is your score or scores and favorite scene or scenes?
I had the same score for both as well. I'm a little bit lower. I'm going to go 4. I fear we'll have to see where they go with things. They're kind of drifting into melodramatic a little bit here. For me, at least, the stuff with Cate and her PTSD, it's getting a little old. We've seen that a lot in this already, that she suffers from this. She needs to strengthen up. She needs to quit being Barbara from Night of the Living Dead first one and become Barbara from Night of the Living Dead second one. And start being an ass kicker. And I think we're starting to see that a little bit. I mean, she really took charge of the situation with her mother about getting her into the city. So I'm hoping that that's where they go with this character, and she just don't become a blubbering mass of nothingness that they just are hauling around.
No, I mean,
sorry. No. I mean, I'm hoping they don't go there. I've seen signs of them not doing it, but they kind of borderline on it a little bit. You're just kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. At least for me. But I'm quick to tire of that type of stuff. But with that being said, I still am really enjoying it quite a bit. I really like how they're kind of playing that, again, with Cate, where she is really kind of hating herself because she realizes she was, before G-Day, living a double life as well, because she was cheating on the girl that she loved. She kind of had 2 families, if you will, going on. And she realizes that the apple isn't falling far from the tree. And I think that bothers her because she really hates her dad for what he did. So, she's coming to some realization there. So I really like that part of the character arc. So, we'll have to see where they go for it. They got a lot of writers on this. How many writers did you list off, Doc? There's like 5 or 6 people that are writing this thing.
Yeah, a lot of them are showrunners, and because showrunners, there's a consultant, and then the actual script writer.
Yeah, so a lot of fingers in the pie.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. But again, that's neither here nor there. I really didn't miss the Kaiju action much. I really didn't. I kind of enjoying what they're spoon feeding me at this point. I just hope they don't become too soap opera-y. That's all.
Yeah, they are bubbling a little bubbles there.
A little bit, just a little. my favorite scene, Doc, you actually kind of touched on it briefly. I love that it's just a bit of visual trickery, but when they superimposed young Kurt Russell over old Kurt Russell, or when they put his son over top of his face on that thing. I just love it. I'm sorry.
You couldn't tell the difference.
I know it was well. There's a lot going on. It just means a lot. So.
Yeah. And I told my wife and I are watching these together, and I told her, I'm like, that is just too cool. Look how much I guess you would want them to look alike, but it's like almost spooky how much they look alike. Yeah. So, but yeah, lots of fun. I have high hopes for episode 6. I'm hoping we're turning a corner.
There you go. Jeff, what are your scores and favorite scene or scenes?
I'm going with Chad with 4.5, and I think I see what Dave's talking about, but I think her PTSD has been limited to things that are definitely related to Godzilla and the destruction. Because when the thing attacks him in Alaska, she's great at helping May get away and everything. She doesn't crumble there. So it just seems like there was a couple times in there. But I'm going for my favorite scene. I'm going to say the one I already mentioned. I thought it was great when Verdugo and Shaw are in that cell sparring against each other, and they set it up very well to have Shaw come out being the only one that really knew what the hell was going on. and making her look kind of incompetent. So yeah.
Very good, very good. All right, so for me, it's 4.5 for episode 4 and 4.25 for episode 5, and I think I've explained why. As far as favorite scene, Dave, I'm with you. I loved how they did that. The putting the film over him, having him stand in almost in the same position as the character in the shots. And one time his back is turned and he's standing right where his back is turned. They did a great job. It was really visually stunning. But if I can't choose that, I'm going to go back to the first quarter or so of episode 4, and it's when the Frostvark is chasing them, from the plane wreck, right? And they're trying to get away, and they go into the cave, and from that point into the cave, and they, are finally, and the monster's finally gone. That was so tense. It was really tense because that creature was incredibly scary. It was imposing, and it was really of all the little non recognizable kaiju that we get, the mutos or whatever. I like this one the most. I really like this one. I mean, the bat one is cool, the dragon one, and everything. But I really like the Frostvark. Just the whole concept of it, and the implications, like when they're flying away. Yeah. And when they're flying away, and you see that there's.
Did you see it? It was right there. Just
it was right there. And they're flying away. And you see the tunnel or the cave or out, whatever the heck it is, and the lights coming out of it. There's something going on, right? Something else is happening, and I wonder what it's going to imply. But
did you catch where they said that there was a before unbeknownst?
No.
Monarch. They said that they were going to get to name it because they're the one that discovered it. And at one point, she even says, "How do we get to the point where Randa's offspring are in Alaska finding a titan we didn't know existed?"
Mm-hmm.
So
she knew Shaw's got it all over. It was something you said there about. I lost it.
And it's gone.
Yeah, because wasn't it in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, that we have all the other kaiju's kind of pop out across? Is that one where they're being beaconed?
Well, even in the first one, back in 2014, which is the only one that's happened. Yeah. I get what you're saying. saying.
Yeah, not the mutos. So the things we call mutos, they're all mutos. We found out, or titans, but they. Because we get like a giant, like, there's a whole bunch of them. I need to go back and watch those again. I haven't watched them in a while. I need to go back and watch them all again.
I binged them before this and then found out this is all taking place between 2014 Godzilla movie and all the other ones.
Yep.
Although I'm sorry, Kong Skull Island takes place in the 70s, so that's already happened. But I did think of what I was thinking of is. Shaw's talking about how the Titans are like snowflakes. They're all different, and they screw with your environment, the world around you, and how you interact with it. So that's a scary thought.
All right.
It opens up a lot of doors.
It does. Yeah, and we have 5 more episodes to find out more about what he means. So we are halfway through. This will take us, Jeff, we were talking about this beforehand. This is going to take us all the way into mid-January. We are going to be talking about this into the new year. 2024. Can you believe it? It's already here. Holy cow.
It's already here.
You're on mute, Chad, if you want to say anything.
Oh, no, I just said, no, I can't believe. I refuse to believe that 2024 is upon us.
I know. Well, you won't be able to refuse it for much longer.
You don't know me very well, do you?
Well.
I'm the king of denial.
All right. Well, with that interesting comment, Dave, Jeff, Chad, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.